Ba-da-ba-bum. 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 Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I know it's been a little bit because I have had so many microphone issues in the past week. I thought the microphone was broken at one point. If you guys are seeing this video, that means I finally got it figured out. I just updated my computer to the new version of the Mac OS and it stopped working with Audacity, and I've had a whole bunch of problems. Finally got it to work. Finally recording some audio. Hopefully this is my third attempt at making this video. I want to talk about the Addams Family because I saw it a few days ago, actually several days ago at this point. It's been so long, I kind of forgot half the movie, and that kind of, tells you what I thought about the movie to begin with. But I saw the Addams Family, and I didn't really know what to expect going in because I really have never seen anything from the Addams Family before. I never watched the original show. I never got a chance to see the live action movies, although I'm really excited to see them eventually. I heard they're actually really good. And so this movie, I was never really impressed by any of the trailers. I had no expectations going in, and in some ways this movie met my expectations. In some ways, there are a few things that I really liked about this movie, but for the most part, it was really dull, and I wasn't really entertained by it enough. The plot of this movie is, well, there's probably about 37 million different plots in this movie, and that is only a slight exaggeration. There are so many things going on in this movie, and it's so hard to keep track of them. It really does feel like 4 different episodes of a Nickelodeon TV show that came out some time ago, and it's just half the episodes are somewhat entertaining and the other half are just not entertaining at all. I was kind of bored during a lot of this movie, especially when it comes to the PUGSLEY character and that his whole arc of trying to become one in the Addams family, and he has to do this sword training thing, and none of that was interesting to me at all. I was very bored during that entire storyline of this movie, and it's one of the more important storylines in this one. And so that one just really did not get me interested at all. And another main plot of this movie, which is probably the most important one, is the story about this reality TV house flipping show host and her plot to kind of take the Addams Family and make them normal, because she runs this town called Assimilation Town. She builds it right next to Addams Family's mountain, and she doesn't realize that this mountain is there, or this mansion is there, until the fog clears up, because they kind of cleared a huge spot in the forest. And so Assimilation Town is now a thing. Everybody acts and talks and just does everything the same. And it's kind of the message of the movie is the Addams Family is very weird and unique, and the message of the movie is kind of you have to accept people who are a little bit different, a little bit weird, and a little bit unique, which I think is a good message for kids. A little heavy-handed at times, but I feel like the movie is kind of making fun of other movies that are super heavy-handed in its message. So I'm kind of mixed on that idea. But this main character, this villain character, is very irritating and just very one note, has nothing to her, no story, no arc. She has no motivation either. She's just kind of evil for the sake of being evil, and to give the Addams Family some sort of conflict. And just this entire storyline I didn't really care for. And what surprisingly took a back seat in this movie was the Addams Family, which you would think, a movie called The Addams Family is going to be weird and kooky and kind of creepy for kids, and there's a little bit of weirdness in this movie, and that's the stuff that I loved the most. Whenever this movie is being very weird, it is really funny, and some of the things that I was laughing at, I'm not sure if I was supposed to be laughing at it, but just the visual humor and the physical humor in this movie is actually very good, especially with the Frankenstein character. There's a few things he does that is just hysterical, and even the kid Pugsley has this very weird scene where he's randomly climbing on a wall, and it zooms in on his face, and his eyes are white, and there's thunder in the background, and it's very bizarre, but it was really funny. Whenever this movie's trying to be like the Addams Family, whenever it's being weird, I thought this movie was great. I really enjoyed that aspect of the movie. And this leads me into the third different episode that I found in this movie, which was the whole kind of plot within the Addams Family characters and their reaction, or their interactions with each other, and how they're all trying to murder each other. And I thought that was very fun and very funny. And I think some parents might think it's a little off for kids, but I think it's perfect. I loved it. I would definitely show my kids this movie if I thought it was a little bit more entertaining than it is. And the fourth and absolute best storyline in this movie is with Wednesday, the character voiced by Chloë Grace Moretz, which this voice cast is actually very talented. I actually liked most of the casting for this entire movie. Nick Kroll was a little bit obvious that he's Coach Steve in Big Mouth, and I couldn't get that voice attached from Coach Steve and all. He was this creepy uncle, and I enjoyed him in the movie, but it was a little bit jarring because I know him from Big Mouth, of course. But besides that, the voice cast is amazing, and Chloë Grace Moretz as Wednesday is very, very funny and very entertaining. And her entire storyline of kind of messing with her mom, and she goes down to Assimilation Town. She joins a normal school, and she starts dressing up like the people in Assimilation Town, and it's really funny. And her entire arc and storyline in this movie I thought was great, and how she just thinks life is terrible and she's super depressed all the time. And it's very entertaining to watch her and her entire storyline. I think out of the 4 episodes, this one was my favorite because it actually had a good arc and had a good story, and it was something that I can actually lock myself into. But whenever the movie was going back to Pugsley and his sword fighting thing and all these different things with the villain, I just really, that's the thing about this movie. There's some great things about it, but it feels like it's 4 very different episodes of a Nickelodeon TV show where only like 1.5 of them are good. Anyways, guys, subscribe to the channel, comment below what you thought of Addams Family if you did see it, leave a like, and I hope to see you all in my next video.